Good morning, everybody. This is Chris in the Morning on K-Bear. It's time to rise and shine. Give God your glory, glory. Hey, before we get started, got a couple of billboard notes here. Tom Peets, you can go home. Carla feels better now. She says, pick up a tube of Elmer's, and she's going to glue together your Fiesta wear, good as new. All right, well, you can't beat that. And what else? The owner that found Mutt answers the name of Rick. Even if you don't want the dog, please come forward. There's some people here curious to see his papers. Okay. Hey, Maggie, if you're listening, this one's for you. I know most of you have been where I am tonight. Trick or treat, money or eats to our K-Bear listeners from yours truly, Chris Stevens, on this All Hallows Eve. For those of you who celebrate the holiday by acting out the Visigoth spirit, well, let's say with a little egg throwing or outhouse tipping, I have an important police bulletin. Please be advised. Alaska's own Inspector Javert, Officer Barbara Szymanski, is on the prowl, having succumbed to the blandishments of love. She's given Maurice a reprieve, and she's currently being squired somewhere in the vicinity. Congrats, Maurice. Now the rest of you, beware. Here's a little something for all you ghouls and goblins out there. There's a dark side to each and every human soul. We want to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, and for the most part we are. But there's a little Darth Vader in all of us. Because the thing is, this ain't no either-or proposition. Because we're talking about dialectics, the good and the bad merging into us. You know, you can run, but you can't hide. My experience, face the darkness, stare it down and own it. It's like Brother Nietzsche says, being human's a complicated gig, so give that old dark night of the soul a hug. And how the eternal yes. History is powerful stuff. One day your world's fine, the next it's knocked for a metaphysical loop. Was Napoleon really at Waterloo? Would that change what I had for breakfast? Thoughts turn to our refrigerated friend, Pierre Lemoulin, Pierre the Windmill, stepchild to history. Man, if those chap lips could speak, what would they say? Bonjour, mes amis, j'appelle. It's time for us to say au revoir to Pierre. Where'd he come from? Where's he going? Guess we could all ask the same questions of ourselves. I'm gonna let a fellow Frenchman here have the last words. When from a long distant past nothing persists, after the people are dead, after things are broken and scattered, still alone, more persistent, more faithful, the smell and taste of things remain poised a long, long time, like souls ready to remind us, waiting, hoping for their moment amid the ruins of all the rest, and bare and faltering in the tiny and almost impalpable drop of their essence, the vast structure of recollection. Dreams are postcards from the subconscious, inner self to outer self. Right brain trying to cross that moat to the left. All too often they come back unread. Return to sender, address unknown. That's a shame too, because there's a whole different world out there. Or in here, depending on your point of view. Indeed, for all we know, this very moment could be nothing more than vapors of our own imagination. As Bertrand Russell mused, I do not believe that I am now dreaming, but I cannot prove that I am not. Point being, there's more to these nocturnal journeys than has previously been considered or accepted. Bernard! Bernard!
Hey, Chris!
Hey! Man, I hardly recognized you. What happened to the leathers?
Oh, I don't need them. I sold the Harley.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, last year, the leather, the Harley, it was all part of my
Quest. Jumbo, Sicily, this is Chris in the morning, coming at you one last time. It is with a heavy but hungry heart that I must bid you farewell, as needs I must respond to the mysterious ways of the heart and mind. My brother's arrival has been an epiphany for me, a karmic tripwire igniting a deeper awareness of my connection to the planet. My brother also brings with him the financial means for me to explore my newfound identity. For those of you unfamiliar with the latest chapter in the Stephen saga, I've inherited half of my father's $60,000 bequest to his sons, which has been marking time at... Bernard, where has that money been spent in its summers?
The First Bank of Portland, a tax-free money market account, currently at 5.5%.
Woo! Not bad. Well, that's it, Sicily. My heart beats to the African drum. My blood flows with the river Niger. From this day forward, Christopher Stevens formally declares himself to be a person of color. Keisho. Einstein said God doesn't play dice with the universe, but I don't know. Maybe not as a whole. I think he gets a pretty big kick out of messing in people's backyards. Which leads me to confirm that Chris in the morning is staying right here at K-Bear. It's my brother Bernard who's off to the Dark Continent. K-Show, brother. Godspeed. It's a clear 48 degrees in Sicily, Alaska, North American continent, planet Earth. This is Chris in the morning on K-Bear. It's crisp, clean mornings such as these that take me back to the Wheeling, West Virginia of my childhood. Mornings when my dad would turn to my Uncle Roy Bauer and say, "Put the boy in the truck, Roy, we're going hunting." I'd be in the back with the sky whipping by overhead, and up in the cab, Dad and Uncle Roy Bauer would be passing the white lightning. Anyway, friends and neighbors, it's time once again for my annual hunt with Holling Vincour on these, the last few days of hunting season. Holling with the single lens reflex, me with my Winchester, heading off into the forest primeval to hunt us up some wild beasts. Speaking of which, there goes Maggie O'Connell down Main Street right now, which appears to be a nice-looking 10-point buck in the back of her rig. Morning, Sicily. This is Chris in the morning. Today, we'd like to extend a hearty K-Bear welcome to the Ludwig Wittgenstein Masquerade and Reality Company. The water pump on their 68 Bluebird school bus gave up the ghost, and the troop's going to be with us till a replacement can be found. So, any listeners who are flush in auto parts, please check your inventory. Let's help these good people get the show back on the road. In the meantime, their misfortune is our serendipity. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the circus has come to town. Woo-woo! When we think of a magician, the image that comes to mind is Merlin. Long white beard, cone-shaped hat, right? You know. Well, in one version of this Arthurian legend, the archetypal sorcerer retires, checks out of the conjuring biz. His reason? The rationalists are taking over. The time for magic's coming to an end. Well, old Merlin should have stuck around, because those same rationalists trying to put a rope around reality suddenly found themselves in the psychedelic land of physics, a land of quarks, gluons, and neutrinos. A place that refuses to play by Newtonian rules. A place that refuses to play by any rules. A place much better suited for the Merlins of the world. If there's nothing of substance in the world, if the ground we walk on is just a mirage, if reality itself really isn't, what are we left with? What do we hang our hat on? Magic, the stuff not ruled by rational law. Now, that might not seem too comforting, but stay with me here. What's the height of the irrational? The zip code of the mysterious? Exactly. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like a melody that's sweetly played in tune. As far art thou, my bonny lass, so deep in love am I. And I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry. Till all the seas gang dry, my dear, and rocks melt with the sun. I will love thee still, my dear, while sands of life shall run. And fare thee well, my only love, and fare thee well a while. And I will come again, my love, though it were 10,000 miles. Season's greetings, everybody, from K-Bear, the heart and soul of Sicily, Alaska. This is Chris in the morning. From where I'm sitting, I got a great view of all the Yuletide decorations going up all over town. That's right, everywhere I turn my head, I see ebony birds roosting for the holidays. You know, twinkling colored lights are nice, and so are plastic Santas and reindeers and manger scenes, but tell you something, friends. Nothing like the sight of a beautiful black as pitch raven to get you in the Christmas spirit. Oh, hey, that reminds me. Congratulations to our own Marilyn Whirlwind, who's landed the part of the Princess Sittin' in this year's Raven pageant. Break a wing, Marilyn. Whoops. There stumbles Maggie O'Connell in her usual Christmas mode. She gets a little accident prone this time of year, so it's best for your own safety. Just keep a wide berth. Hey, this one's for everybody out there. Attention, Sicilians, only 2 shopping days left till Christmas. Hey, I see the Minifields out for a family stroll. How nice. Merry Christmas. Cujo Santan, everybody. This just in from the Sicily Choral Society. All members are requested to gather at Mel's Guns and Ammo, 7 o'clock tonight for caroling. Please remember to dress warm. Also, a reminder to anybody attending tomorrow night's Raven pageant, you're welcome to take pictures, but please, no flash equipment. It's hazardous to the performers. Okay, here's one for Maurice. Ghastly, grim, and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Well, that's how Mr. Poe saw the raven. You know, lots of references in Western literature do tend toward the negative. Like most things in life, when it comes to transcendental symbols, one man's savior is another man's pair of lead boots. I, said the cow, all white and red, I gave him my manger for his bed. I gave him my hay to pillow his head. I, said the cow, all white and red. So every beast by some good spell in the stable dark was glad to tell of the gift he gave Emmanuel. The gift he gave Emmanuel. It's an old legend that on Christmas Eve at midnight, all the animals fall to their knees and speak, praising the newborn Jesus. Back in the winter of '69, my dad was serving a short time for a DUI, and I don't know where my mom was. Anyway, I was home alone Christmas Eve, and I stayed up extra kind of late to see if my dog Buddy would talk. And he did. I don't remember his exact words, but that's not important. What matters is that a 7-year-old boy experienced his own personal epiphany. What's my point? Well, it's that Christmas reveals itself to us each in a personal way, be it secular or sacred, whatever Christmas is, and it's many things to many people. We all own a piece of it. It's like Well, it's kind of like Santa's bag. Inside, there's a gift for everybody. My Christmas wish for you tonight? May your dog talk. Good night, Cicely. Merry Christmas.
Good morning, Cicely. It's 7:02, a soggy 34 degrees outside. It's time to reach into the K-Bear mailbag. Dave from Mosquito Lake writes, Dear Chris in the Morning, I loved your series on Islam. How about a transcript? Well, sorry, Dave, there isn't one. I work without a net, you know? I'm glad you liked the series. On a personal note, my brother Bernard drops a note from the Dark Continent.
Dear Chris, Africa is all I dreamed it would be. I trekked up the Usambara Range, that's in Tanzania, folks, where I watched the sunrise and felt the blood of my ancestors pulse through my veins. Best to all, Kwaheri, Bernard. Well, that's something, huh? Bernard's out there in the motherland, hugging the curves down life's highways, and yours truly creeps along here at his petty pace, day to day, full of sound and fury. Lots of unnecessary commercial messages. Truth is, folks, I've been dragging my psychic feet lately, and it's probably nothing more than your usual biorhythmic peaks and valleys, but there's no getting around the fact that we all need a pump, you know? Something to make us jump up out of bed in the morning and greet the dawn with a big old cosmic howdy. Yes, who would have thought our sleepy little hamlet borders the most unusual botanical find of the century? But don't take my word for it. Pick up your own copy of the Sicily News and World Telegram today and read about bizarre but true discoveries in a forest primeval that time forgot. It's all in the Sicily News and World Telegram, the pride and pulse of the borough of Arrowhead County. And to swap stories about our loquacious lodgepoles, why not stop in at Sicily's favorite watering hole, The Brick, home of the new ptarmigan pizza? You know, you can enjoy your state bird with mozzarella, fresh basil, and tomato, all on a cornflour crust. Don't forget tonight's T.S. Eliot night at The Brick. Yours truly, Chris Stevens, is going to be manning the pumps. Free nickel beers for the first 50 customers who can recite the opening lines of The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. No crib sheets now. I got a little weather advisory for anybody out there conversing with the local flora. Big old storm front due in from the northeast. Hey, why don't you come in from the cold, warm yourselves with a big old bowl of homemade chili at The Brick. Big old heaping bowl for measly $1.75. Chili there. Yeah, maybe you got something else to do. What's happening tonight? Anglo-Saxonite at The Brick, our salute to our soggy forebears from the Sceptered Isle. And we're featuring the first annual Arrowhead Tag Team Dart Championship. Seemed like a good idea at the time. I guess we'll give it a try. Hey, how about a tune? Rain usually makes me feel mellow. Curl up in the corner time, slow down, smell the furniture. Today it just makes me feel wet. What is it about possessing things? Why do we feel the need to own what we love? And why do we become such jerks when we do? We've all been there, you know? You want something, you possess it, and by possessing it, we lose it. You know, you finally win the girl of your dreams. First thing you do, you try to change her. The little things she did with her hair, the way she wears her clothes, when she chews her gum. Pretty soon, what you liked, what you've changed, and what you don't like, blends together. Like a watercolor in the rain. Morning, Sicily. You'll be pleased to know that Corps of Army Engineers is arriving this morning to restore our fragile tundra, bloody but unbowed. Godspeed, boys, and tell the Army no more hijinks in our fair woods, understand? I understand that our trees have quit their howling. End of a crowd-pleasing phenomenon for us, perhaps, but Resumption of business as usual for them. Ah, yes. Life in the slow lane, as it should be. You know, if our timber were to speak again, I got a feeling it would probably say something like, "Hey, people, enough." You know, some things we're not meant to tamper with. Some things just better left alone. And that's okay, because happiness doesn't come from having things, right? It comes from being part of things. My thanks to Shelley and Holling for giving me the space to work that one out. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading, till it seemed that sense was breaking through. And when they all were seated, a service like a drum kept beating, till I thought my mind was going numb. I think what Emily had in mind when she penned those lines was the kind of day I'm having. Emotional weather report, cloudy with a chance of rain until later in the week when the brick reopens. Lest we give in to despair, let's put on those psychic raincoats, turn up the collars, and think about sunnier times. Our own Dr. Joel Fleischman, late of Flushing, New York, county of the borough of Queens, is well down the road to his cultural conversion. Way to go, Joel. I think Sicily supports you in the flesh sacrifice to come. Welcome back to another very exciting edition of Blues in the Night with Chris in the Morning. We're entertaining any and all requests for music to go with that special moment in life when you just want to crawl into a hole, shrivel up and die. Why? Because sometimes you gotta lie down with your pain. Like Carl Jung says, there's no coming to consciousness without any pain. Let's get conscious, Sicily. In the middle of the journey of our life, I came to myself within a dark wood where the straight way was lost. Oh, how hard it is to tell of that wood, savage and harsh and dense, the thought of which renews my fear. So bitter is it that death is hardly more. That's Dante, folks, writing of his own midlife crisis. That's the 14th century. 600 years have passed and we're still into it. It's at that midpoint in our personal continuum when our delicate lives hang in the balance. We look behind us to see how far we've come, and we realize that our past isn't a solitary trail through secret woods, but a vista as big and expansive as the ocean itself, with our experiences stretching to the horizon like tiny dot-like sailboats sucked up into the enormous sea. Nel mezzo del cammin de nostra vita mi retrovai per una selva oscura che la dritta via era smarrita, a toast to Auld Lang Syne. For my own midlife crisis at 22, my lost year. To excess, forgetfulness, failure, and blindness. In many ways, friends, best year of my life. Latest report from the art front. Picked up a couple Peterbilt truck springs this morning from the dump. Real beauties, too. They're going to take about a ton of pressure apiece. Still need a hand winch, a butterfly bit, and use of a drill press. Let me thank the folks over there at the Panacet Dairy Farm for the use of the Guernseys, even if they are played out milk-wise. Still haven't found one that rings my bell. Anybody out there got a cow they want to fling? Trot her on over. Chris in the Morning, K-Bear, Sicily, Alaska. Friends, Romans, registered voters, lend me your ears. Holling Vincourt has picked up the gauntlet thrown down by Edna Hancock. We have a mayoralty race, folks.
To which I can only add, Alia e actica est. The die is cast, the battle is joined. Hold on to your hats, Sicily. We're about to bear witness to that sacred rite when each and every one of us become acolytes before the altar of the ballot box, our secular shrine. Fellow Sicilians, my heart is pounding, dancing to the drum of a free people, a city on a hill, e pluribus unum. I feel at one with Whitman, shepherd of the great unwashed. O democracy, near at hand to you, a throat is now inflating itself and joyfully singing. This is Chris in the Morning, continuing the K-Bear election countdown to mayor with some special announcements. B. Gormley is holding a candidate's tea for Edna Hancock this afternoon at her house at 2 o'clock. The public is welcome. And Holling Vancouver will be special guest of the Vikings Eating Club tonight at 8 p.m. over at the Moose Hall. There's a change in the scheduled program, so call Dennis Lundgren for more info. And keep that radio tune right where it is on K-Bear 570 on your AM dial. The radio station of the people, by the people, and for the people. My friends, today when I look out over Sicily, I see not a town, but a nation's history written in miniature, inscribed in the cracked pavement, reverberating from every passing flatbed. Today every runny nose I see says America to me. We were outcasts, scum, the wretched debris of a hostile aging world. But we came here, we paved roads, we built industries, powerful institutions. Of course, along the way we exterminated untold indigenous cultures and enslaved generations of Africans. We basically stained our star-spangled banner with a host of sins that can never be washed clean. But today, we're here to celebrate the glorious aspects of our past. A tribute to a nation of free people, the country that Whitman exalted. The genius of the United States is not best or most in its executives or legislators, nor in its ambassadors or authors, or colleges or churches, or parlors, nor even in its newspapers or inventors, but always most in the common people. I've never been so proud to be a Sicilian. I must go out now and fill my lungs with the deep, clean air of democracy. Fellow citizens, we cannot escape history. The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down in honor or dishonor to the last generation. Abe Lincoln, ladies and gentlemen. But the sentiment goes ditto for your K-Bear correspondent. Democracy is not a spectator sport. That means your presence is going to be required tonight at the candidates' debate. Be worthy of your heritage. It's like Justice Holmes said. It is required that a man shall share in the passion and action of his time at peril of being judged not to have lived. Enough said. Debate 7:30, be there. When I was 9, I was fishing with my Uncle Roy Bauer when he suddenly smacked his forehead. Told me to cut my line. He just remembered it was election day. That was 72, Nixon versus McGovern. No contest, really, but Roy had been to Vietnam. He hated Nixon. After he voted, he put his arm around my shoulder. Well, he said, guess I showed him.
Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost.
Oh, I wish I could give you a ballot.
I can only gaze upon the promised land, Ruth Ann, never enter. Anyway, I was wondering if I could hang out a while and catch the vibes of democracy doing its thing.
Feel free to graze, and then come sit by me.
Okay. What is that all about?
Luke, chapter 15. For this my son was dead, and he is alive again. He was lost, and he is found. The return of the prodigal voter.
I'm wasted, people. I'm drained. A good drain, though, you know, like a wedding that's boogied on till the early morning light. Woo! Well, I guess it's time for the official results, huh? In studio guest, Special Courier Ed Chigliak, ladies and gentlemen. Moment we've all been waiting for. For Holling Vincourt, 247 votes. For Edna Hancock, 255 votes. The winner by 8 votes, Edna Hancock. Pax Vobiscum. Congratulations, Edna. We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break the bonds of our affection. Lincoln's words to a divided nation, my counsel to a divided Sicily. Holling Vincourt, you know you're still first in the hearts of your fellow Sicilians. Today, people simply said they just want Edna to run things for a while. Hey, that's cool. I mean, if it doesn't work out, we'll have another election, right? It's not perfect, but it's the best system anybody's come up with. It's like Justice Holmes said, the Constitution's an experiment, like life's an experiment. Apropos of that, final words tonight belong to Thomas Jefferson, 3rd President of these United States, who gave us this to chew on. Sometimes it is said that a man cannot be trusted with the government of himself. Can he then be trusted with the government of others? Or have we found angels in the forms of kings to govern him? Let history answer this question. You're listening to K-Bear 570 AM, the voice of the borough of Arrowhead County. There they go, into the last great gasp of wilderness we call Alaska. We all have our own relationship with the wild out there, or in here in our hearts and our souls. Wheeling, West Virginia, 1983. I'm in the Joint Prison Library, working my way back from Z, Stendhal, Proust. I'm in the L's and Eureka, baby. Jack London, my main man. If Whitman gave me poetry, then Mr. London took me to a place inside myself that I didn't even know existed, but instantly recognized, like I'd been heading there my whole lost life. There was Buck, big, great, civilized mutt from the Southland, slapped down in the frigid North to redefine himself for what he truly was. I was Buck. Buck was I. Buck is us. See, folks, it's time to rekindle that mysterious and terrifying intimacy when that old psychic link between us and it is established again for the first time. Commencing tomorrow, Part 1, Call of the Wild.
This time tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess he will.
Well, I guess we better turn in.
They pitched camp after dark, eating their bit of fish and crawling to sleep in the snow. A chill wind was blowing, but Buck slept soundly and comfortably, though he growled and barked and wrestled with bad dreams. Buck was glad to be gone on the hard day's run up the canyon, through sheep camp, past the scales to the timber line, across glaciers and snowdrifts hundreds of feet deep, and over the great Choku Divide which guards forbiddingly the sad and lonely north. The dominant primordial beast was strong in Buck, and under the fierce conditions of trail life, it grew and grew. Suddenly jerked from the heart of civilization and flung into the heart of things primordial, instincts long dead became alive again. His muscles became hard as iron. Sight and scent became remarkably keen. He learned to bite the ice out with his teeth when it collected between his toes, to scent the wind and forecast it a night in advance. The domesticated generations fell from him, and Buck's restlessness came back on him as he was haunted by recollections of the wild brother and of the smiling land and the run side by side through the wide forest stretches. They came upon a path, blazed through the forest, an ancient path, and the lost cabin seemed very near. Skeet was a frisky little Irish setter who early made friends with Buck. She moved toward him playfully. He tried to sniff noses with her, but she retreated coyly. There was nothing threatening about her. She looked merely with a great wistfulness. But Buck knew it to be the wistfulness of an equally great hunger, and he was the food. She licked her chops with the pleasure of anticipation. The breakdown of discipline affected the dogs and their relations with one another. They quarreled and bickered more than ever among themselves, till at times the camp was howling bedlam. Day after day, for days unending, Buck toiled in the traces. Always they broke camp in the dark, and the first gray dawn found them hitting the trail. No lazy, sun-kissed life was this. Every moment, life and limb were in peril.
Holly Vincor, you get your broken out butt back here and help us unstick Bill.
Holly, where do you think you're going? Maurice? The horses are up ahead. They stopped at Two Forks. Two Forks? Well, I'll be damned. Come on, let's go.
It was inevitable that the clash for leadership should come. Buck wanted it. He wanted it because it was his nature. Because he had been gripped tight by the nameless, incomprehensible pride of the trail and the trace. That pride which holds dogs in the toil until the last gasp, which lures them to die joyfully in the harness, and breaks their heart if they are cut out of the harness. This was the pride of Dave, his wheel dog, and of Solex, as he pulled with all his strength, the pride that laid hold of them at the break of camp, transforming them from sorrowing, sullen brutes into straining, eager, ambitious creatures. The astonished team dogs had burst out of their nests only to be set upon by the fierce invaders. Never had Buck seen such dogs. It seemed as though their bones would burst through their skins. They were mere skeletons draped loosely in draggled hides with blazing eyes and slavering fangs. Dave and Solex, dripping blood from a score of wounds, were fighting bravely side by side.
So long, Bill.
The general tone of the team picked up immediately. It recovered its old-time solidarity, and once more the dogs leaped as one dog in the traces. The trail was in excellent condition, packed and hard, and there was no new fallen snow with which to contend. By the time they made Hootalinqua, Buck was played out. The rest of the dogs were in like condition, a wretched state, worn out and worn down. Solex was limping and Dub was suffering from a wrenched shoulder blade. They were all terribly footsore. No spring or rebound was left in them. There was nothing the matter with them except that they were dead tired. There was no power of recuperation left, no reserve strength to call upon. It had all been used, the last bit of it, every muscle, every fiber, every cell. Buck heard the call still sounding in the depths of the forest, and as never before, he was ready to obey. His master, John Thornton, was dead. The last tie was broken. Man and the claims of man no longer bound him. An old wolf, gaunt and battle-scarred, came forward, sat down, pointed nose at the moon, and broke out in a long wolf howl. The wolf pack had at last crossed over from the land of streams and timber and invaded Buck's Valley. Into the clearing they poured in a silvery flood, and in the center of the clearing stood Buck, waiting their coming. One wolf advanced, and Buck recognized the wild brother with whom he had run for a night and a day.
Holly, you're home.
Good to see you.
Hi, Holly.
Hi, Ed.
You guys get your friend buried?
We did.
Good.
Miss you so much.
Now the call came back to Buck in unmistakable accents. He too sat down and howled. The leaders lifted the yelp of the pack and sprang away into the woods. The wolves swung in behind, yelping in chorus. Buck ran with them, side by side with the wild brother, yelping as he ran. The end. There's a fine line between the wild and the tame, between Alaska and us. Me, I gotta have my music and my books. No matter how urbane we humans become, something in us still longs for the virgin forest. So good luck, Buck. You're out there for me, and for all of us. Good night, Cicely. This is Chris in the Morning on K-Bear, flagship of the Minifield Communication Network. Time for the weather report. It's cold out, folks. Bone-crushing cold, the kind of cold that'll wrench the spirit out of a young man or forge it into steel. Speaking of which, I found a single fleece-lined suede glove on the stoop of the studio this morning. It's a men's right hand. I know it's got a lonely mate somewhere and a frostbitten owner eager as a beaver to claim it. From the Gone with the Wind file, you know that Gold Rush era red brick building currently home to Mel's Guns and Ammos? Well, it's slated for demolition. I guess after last month's 4-point trembler, Mrs. Mel declared it unfit for habitation, and when Mrs. Mel speaks, Mel listens. Sorry, buddy. 6 strong young men with sledgehammers and Mel's Guns and Ammos quickly becoming just a memory. Ask this brick, who carted you here? Who stacked you one on top of the other, joined you with mortar? The brick won't talk. The builder remains anonymous, like those unsigned cathedrals of Europe. See, this edifice was not built for an architect's glory. It was built with a vision in mind, a vision we call Cicely, Alaska. Are we less without Mel's? Maybe not. You see, cities, countries, buildings, they all have a life cycle just like us humans. They come and they go. They're just sticks and stones. The spirit that infuses them, that's what really counts. As far as I'm concerned, the vision remains. In ancient Greece and Rome, the community, the city was everything, the whole enchilada. You had no identity without it. You piss off the powers that be, and you got the boot. The big E, exile, persona non grata. You take Oedipus, that unlucky fellow who killed his father and married his mother. They string him up. Did they slit his throat? No way. Check it out. Let him flee, nor ever approach the temples. Let no citizen speak to or receive him. Let no one admit him to the prayers or sacrifices. Let no one offer the lustral waters. You talk about a cold shoulder. Brr. They called that capital punishment. Think about that. Pondering this here phenomenon we call Cicely, Alaska, you might ask yourself, where do cities come from in the first place? Well, like most things, from an idea. You see, our ancestors had the notion that the dead weren't really dead. They just kept on boogieing on underground. So to make sure that the dead had a regular supply of chow and vino, they put feed times on the calendar. Presto, we had rituals, festivals, religions. Now, you take some families and you give them the same religion, you got a tribe. A few tribes, what do you got? Athens, Thebes, Rome. It's weird but true. We got cities because those ancient folks wanted to do right by the dead. It's no accident that the church and the graveyard stand side by side. The city of the dead sleeps encircled by the city of the living. The ancients knew that we all share a common fate. They gathered around their hearths, their sacred fires, not just to remember those who had gone before, but to comfort each other in the face of their own inevitable journey. Mr. Einstein put it like this: Strange is our situation here upon earth. However, there's one thing that we do know. The man is here for the sake of other men. Above all, for those upon whose smile and well-being our own happiness depends. And also for the countless unknown souls with whose fate we are connected by a bond of sympathy. Good night, Cicely. Afternoon, Cicely. Chris on K-Bear here. Got a little special in-studio guest today, the blue-eyed beauty, about 6 months old. Anybody missing said item, you might want to pop into town here and pick her up. Meanwhile, people, we got a baby with no name. Does that matter? Not really. It's like Goethe said, you are, when all is done, just what you are. Maybe on the other hand, it does. I mean, why have we been assigning monikers since the beginning of language? In the beginning was the Word. Who would yours truly be if I were Mike in the morning? Probably doing drive time in Secaucus. John the Baptist, would he have lost his head if he were Steve? I don't think so. So why don't we name this little one then, huh? She's got a G on the front of her outfit here. It's a place to start. Free oil change and a trip to Nome for the best suggestion. It's like Lord Byron said, thrice happy he whose name has been well spelt. Bye-bye. Hey, it's Chris in the morning. Couple billboard items. The Theosophy Society holds its annual bake sale and radiator flush in front of the bingo hall this weekend. Oh, guess what? Ernie and Estelle's pot-bellied pig Martha gave birth to 4 fat, healthy piglets. Congratulations, you guys. Speaking of babies, the owners of our own baby G are still a no-show. But don't forget, you got to the end of the week to get in your Name the Baby postcard. Here's one from Anonymous over at Chakaluk. Kathy. Well, that's nice, Anonymous. It's simple. It's easy to spell. Let's take a minute to stop and smell the soft spot, though, shall we? Yeah, Bill Shakespeare says, what's in a name? But you tell that to Juliet. Here we go. Gertrude. Well, you stuck to the G's. Gertrude, spear maiden, bearer of slain souls of the warriors of Valhalla. It's a heavy burden for a small package, don't you think? Look at over here. Gilda. Now that's interesting. Servant of God. No pressure there on a modern young woman, huh? To all my Gildas out there, this song's for you. This just in from the U.S. Weather Service. Millibars at 10.30, mercury at 30.2 and rising. In other words, Cicely, it's a beautiful morning. You know, I was thinking about this name thing, and old Mr. Anonymous once said, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Why then did Friedrich Osterlitz change his moniker to Fred Astaire? Grigory Novkata Rasputin? Would Dada have Dadad by Emanuel Rudninsky and not Man Ray? James Jewel Osterberg. Would he roll our rock like Iggy Pop? What about Sid Vicious? Would his candle have gone out at 22 if it had gone by John Ritchie? Food for thought. Chow down, Cicely. As Baby G came to us, today she also left. Come to find out her name's Barbara Jean. A little G on her suit, a hand-me-down from Brother George. Barbara, it's interesting. It comes from the Greek meaning stranger. She came to us a stranger, but she left with another name, friend. A lot of dichotomy in such a small package. What's the need to name, but the need to claim, to call a thing, conjure it, make it your own? Angel Bailey, 6th grade, rose tattoo on her shoulder, gravity switchblade. How many times did I write her name in the margins of my notebook, over every page of every textbook? Angel loves Chris. Chris loves Angel. Angel, angel, angel. They didn't have graffiti then, but if they did, man, I'd have tagged every bus and bridge in Wheeling, West Virginia. What's in a name? In the case of Angel, volumes. Greetings, Cicely, on this most exceedingly beautiful spring morning. A morning swollen with new life. A morning on which, if I had the voice, I would let loose with song. It's hard to believe just
few short weeks ago at this hour, we were eating our corn flakes in the wintry dark, and now, well, it's still kind of dim out there, but I can see the golden glow of Apollo's chariot waiting in the wings, about to make its entrance. Winter's on the lam, ain't no doubt about it. Like my late Uncle Roy Bauer, whose arthritic knee unfailingly predicted the onset of rain, yours truly, Chris in the Morning, is blessed with allergies that herald the vernal equinox. Yes, indeedy, the marsh marigolds are definitely abloom. Got a little PSA here. Last night, a brown bear scavenging for a midnight snack was spotted at the corner of Spruce and Main. The mighty Ursus is hungry after his long siesta, and no one needs a confrontation. So keep those trash cans covered. And play this one for me. Listen, Sicily, can you hear it? Spring sweet cantata. The stains of grass pushing through the snow, the song of buds swelling on the vine, the tender timpani of a baby robin's heart. Hey, continuing our bear watch, Maggie O'Connell has spotted an ursine prowler in her front yard. Spring. Spring, spring, spring. Naturally, this young man's fancy turns to thoughts of death. Not death in the that's all folks kind of death, but death in the cyclical sense, like high tide, low tide, sunrise, sunset, you know, that kind of thing. Bears, which we've all had on our minds lately, they really say it all, you know, their death-like sleep in the sepulcher of the cave, followed by their awakening rebirth. Excuse-moi. Death and resurrection, something bears and deities have in common. Point of fact, in many cultures, bears themselves were considered gods. You know, 60,000 years ago, way before Mithra, before the burning bush, Christ, Buddha. What do you think our Neolithic brothers lied prostrate to? Bears. Keep it covered, guys. They're out there. Hey, good news, Sicily. After the first shock of spring, my allergies are waning. Just a little post-nasal drip remains. Oh, other good news, no new bear sightings lately. I guess our fat, furry friends have headed to the hills to make new little bears. Before we say goodbye, let's take a look back at those great cave bears of old and talk about a very special birth. About the same time our Cro-Magnon ancestors started bearing themselves, they started doing the same thing with bears. What's that mean? What are you saying here, Stevens? Well, I'm talking about the Big Bang of the human psyche, the recognition of death. We saw death and we did what no other animal had done before. We dealt with it. We hit on the idea that death wasn't an end, it was a passage. That's why we gave Mr. Bear a proper burial, so he wouldn't come back mad. Trying to make sense of the unknowable, what Joseph Campbell calls the awakening of awe. That awakening to the mystery of death and therewith of life, which, more than physical transformation, elevated man above the level of beasts. That blessed event that I talked about, birth of the human spirit. You know that birth of the human spirit? It's reflected in each and every one of us. Case in point, a second-story man I knew in Stir named Chuck. Chuck spent about a month in the infirmary after being stabbed in the lung. When they brought him back to the prison laundry where we both worked, he said to me, "Chris, live every day like it might be your last." That's a tired old chestnut, I know, but try roasting it like this. It ought to be spring every day. Every day we ought to wake up brand new. Ah, up then from the ground sprang I, and hailed the earth with such a cry is not heard save from a man who has been dead and lives again. About the trees my arms I wound, like one gone mad I hugged the ground. I raised my quivering arms on high. I laughed and laughed into the sky. We returned from the pole to Cape Columbia in only 16 days. The exhilaration of success lent wings to our sorely battered feet, but Uta had his own explanation. Said he, "The devil is asleep or having trouble with his wife, or we should not have come back so easily." Why the Robert Perry, you ask? Well, got a bulletin here from our friends over at JPL. It seems Earth's happy spacecraft, the Voyager 1, is now some 7.2 billion kilometers from home. It's passing through the heliopause. It's zipping out of our solar system into the bosom of the Milky Way. Good luck and Godspeed to you, our noble emissary. You know, that's a trip all us earthbound stargazers would love to take. As a consolation prize, the Van Allen Radiation Belt is currently presenting the Aurora Borealis, and here in Sicily, Alaska, that's a show you won't want to miss. There's not a bad seat in the house. I made you, paddle person, because I had a dream. A little wooden man smiled at me. He sat in a canoe on a snowbank on this hill. Now the dream has begun to come true. The sun spirit will look down at the snow, and the snow will melt, and the water will run downhill to the river, on down to the Great Lakes, down again, on at last to the sea. You will go on with the water, and you will have adventures that I would like to have. But I cannot go with you because I have to stay and help my father with the traps. That's Paddle to the Sea, folks. The story of a little Indian boy who sends a toy canoe on a journey that he himself is too young to take. We do the same thing, you know. Pioneer, Voyager, Galileo. Our standard bearers in the eternal human crusade, exploration, and now we've hit the cosmic trail. Why? Well, because Earth's played out. You know, less than 100 years ago, Amundsen could have been the first human being to reach the South Pole. Falcon Scott could have died trying, and now... Well, last year, China had to close down Mount Everest, too much litter. World's become a fragile place. It's not to be conquered, it's to be protected. Coddled, nursed like a little baby. What do we do now? We launch our surrogates into interstellar space, dreaming of that one fine day when we ourselves can go. The lower half of the falls was hidden in mist with a rainbow across it. Paddle fell through the rainbow and went on falling. Paddle had ridden rapids. He had ridden the Mad River and seen the rapids at the Sioux, so big that ships went around them. But these rapids, 30-foot waves rushed like shooting stars, turning inside and out at every jump. Paddle flew up on a chain of wet volcanoes and plunged deep in submarine dives and took sudden trips toward the moon in green rockets. There's probably a lot of folks out there saying, man, I'm never going to have me a rush like that. Earth's a parking lot and outer space is just too pricey. Let me tell you something. There's lots of ways to blaze a trail.
I always think back to those unsung heroes of the past, like that prehistoric gourmet who looked at that lobster and said, I'm gonna eat that. Or the first healer who picked up a knife and said, let's operate, boys. You see, adventures come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, like getting your hair cut, falling in love, even getting behind the wheel and backing out of the driveway can be a sublime act of faith, as well as a monumental act of courage. For that instant, he looked like his own paddle. There was a song in his heart. It crept to his lips, but only the water and the wind could hear. You little traveler, you made the journey, the long journey. You now know things I have yet to know, you little traveler. You were given a name, a true name in my father's lodge. Good medicine, little traveler. You are truly a paddle person. A paddle to the sea. There you have it, folks. I'd like to play the song for Richard McWilliams and for the curious child who lives in each and every one of us.
That's it then. You were a bear. You were a great big bear. You were wild and you were free. Godspeed, Jesse.
Well, all right, that was Rockin' Doopsie and the Zydeco Twisters, and before that, who was before that? Well, before that was Pablo Lubrica Porthos, starting things out this quarter hour with, Well, if anybody can remember, go ahead and call it in. Word of warning to the unwary, don't get sick this weekend. Our own Dr. Joel is off for a medical conference in Juneau. Everybody's entitled to a little boondoggle now and then, I suppose. While he's away, Joel's provided for an on-call physician from Sleep Mute. My advice, take 2 aspirins and wait till Monday. Time for the Birdwatcher's Bulletin Board. Sal Valdez, Guisclet. All right. Sal Valdez reports a whiskered auklet. I'm sorry, people. I seem to be problems. I seem to be blems getting the words out. Technical difficulties.
Welcome back to K-Bear Radio. You're listening to Chris in the Morning. Chris in the late afternoon, actually. And this isn't Chris Stevens. It's Bernard Stevens, sitting in for my brother Chris. Chill, Sicily. For the names may change, the tune remains the same. And by the way, my brother Chris would like to thank all of you who've called in to express your support. We're all hoping for a speedy recovery from whatever it is that's been afflicting him of late. In the meantime, a big hello to all of you out there from all of me in here. As you may know, I spent the last 3 months in Africa, a wondrous, magical place. But as shadows lengthen across the K-Bear window, thoughts turn to homecoming, journey's end. Because in a sense, it's the coming back, the return, which gives meaning to the going forth. We really don't know where we've been until we've come back to where we were. Only where we were may not be as it was because of who we've become. Which, after all, is why we left. Do you have anything to add, Chris?
Couldn't myself have better said.
gentlemen, I'm back. That's right, Chris in the Morning is once again Chris in the Morning. Mind and body are one. All systems go. Mens sana, incorpore sano, to which I can only add mirabile dictu.
I'll second that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's my brother Bernard, my karmic doppelganger, my buddy, my twin, who pulled me out of my time and trouble. Bernard, lean on in here and say a few words to the good people of Sicily, huh?
Great to see you all again. Glad you enjoyed the slideshow. Oh, by the way, don't forget the Pan-African boutique at Ruth Ann's.
All right, here's a little juju from Nigeria to get you in the mood. In dreams begin responsibility, so wrote the poet. So it is perhaps. Could it be that we take our dreams too lightly, those images from places unknown? Could they in fact be angels in flight, our souls aloft? No, recent experiences have made yours truly take another pass through the metaphysical thickets, and as unlikely as it may sound in this rational age, I emerged on the side of those that cannot help but put their faith in that which cannot be easily explained. Be open to your dreams, people. Embrace that distant shore, because our mortal journey is over all too soon. The cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherits shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Pussy said to Owl, "You elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married, too long have we tarried, but what shall we do for a ring?" They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the balm tree grows, and there in the wood a piggy-wig stood with a ring at the end of his nose. Yes, folks, the clean, clear Sicilian air will soon resound with the peal of wedding bells. Master Chef and country squire Adam will exchange vows with the Lady Eve this Sunday at 11 a.m. Attire, semi-formal, daytime. A reception will follow at the Brick, no-host bar. Are you stumped for a gift? Well, the happy couple is registered at Gump's, Orgel's, Tiffany's, and for those shopping in town, Ruth Ann's. Hey, Bernardo! Top of the morning, Sicily. Chris in the Morning here with my peripatetic brother Bernard.
Hiya.
What do you say we get things rolling with a little wedding update?
Okay. Maryland Whirlwind reports the crane count now stands at 312.
Ooh, doggy. 688 to go.
Okay, let's get folding, people. And please, no 3-hole punch paper and no rule paper either. Thanks.
This just in. Shelly Tambo is throwing a chicks-only shower for Eve tonight. Need someone to bring the macaroni salad. Go heavy on the pickle relish. Take it away, maestro. Nice.
Good morning, Sicily. This is Bernard Stevens sitting in for my brother Chris, whose pastoral duties have kept him away from the mic this AM. He's crossing his T's and dotting his I's for his wedding homily. You know, I've never been married, and the thought of it turns my knees to jelly. And for that very reason, I doff my proverbial hat to those of you courageous enough to give it a go. I mean, what are man and woman if not members of two very different and warring tribes? Yet decade after decade, century after century, they attempt in marriage to reconcile and forge a union. Why? I don't know. Biologic imperative, divine law, or just a desire to connect to that mysterious other. In any case, it's always struck me as a hopeful thing.
Marriage. It's a hard term to define, especially for me. I've ducked it like root canal.
Still, there's no denying the fact that marriage ranks right up there with birth and death as one of the 3 biggies in the human safari. It's the only one, though, that we'll celebrate with a conscious awareness. Very few of you remember your arrival, and even fewer will attend your own funeral. You can pick a society, any society, Zuni, Nadembo, Pennsylvania Dutch. What's the one thing that they all have in common? Marriage. It's like a cultural handrail. It links folks to the past and guides them to the future. That's not all, though. Marriage is the union of disparate elements, male and female, yin and yang, proton and electron. What are we talking about here? Nothing less than the very tension that binds the universe. You see, when we look at marriage, people, we're looking at creation itself. I am the sky, says the Hindu bridegroom to the bride. You are the earth. We are sky and earth united. The ring, please, Joe. You are my husband. You are my wife. My feet shall run because of you. My feet shall dance because of you. My heart shall beat because of you. My eyes see because of you. My mind think because of you, and I shall love because of you. Are you guys cool with that? Then kiss.